The world felt different after Amara found the stone. It was a strange and wonderful feeling. The next morning, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves outside her window, but within the breeze, she heard something new. It was a soft whisper, like a secret just for her. The voice was faint, almost like the sigh of the wind itself. It spoke no clear words, but she felt its meaning in her heart. It was a feeling of welcome, a soft hello from the world around her. She held the smooth, glowing stone in her hand. It felt warm against her skin. More strange things began to happen. As Amara walked through her village, she noticed the animals watched her. A small brown sparrow left its branch and landed on her shoulder. It chirped a happy little song, then flew away. Later, a shy deer with big dark eyes stepped out from the trees. It did not run away as it usually would. Instead, it bowed its head slowly before disappearing back into the forest. Amara felt a connection to these creatures, a silent understanding she had never known before. The moonlight stone pulsed with a soft light in her pocket. One afternoon, while she was helping her mother gather water, she closed her eyes for a moment. A picture flashed in her mind. It was a vision, clear as day. She saw a tall, silver mountain she had never seen before. At its peak, a single bright star shone in a dark sky. The vision was gone as quickly as it came, leaving her blinking in the sunlight. It felt like a memory of a place she had never been. The whispers returned, this time a little clearer. They seemed to be guiding her, pulling her toward an unknown path. The stone was more than just a pretty rock. It was alive with magic. Amara felt its power humming inside her. It was a little scary, but also very exciting. She felt like she had a secret friend, one that only she could hear and feel. The whispers, the animals, the visions. It was all connected to the beautiful stone she had found. She knew she could not keep this secret to herself for much longer. She needed answers. She needed to understand what was happening to her and why this magic had chosen her. Amara knew where she had to go. The river was where her adventure began. It was the place where she found the moonlight stone. Maybe the river held the answers she was looking for. She clutched the stone tightly in her hand and walked back to the familiar path. The trees seemed to greet her as she passed. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, making dancing patterns on the ground. Everything felt alive and aware of her presence. The whispers grew stronger as she got closer to the water, urging her forward. She reached the riverbank where she had first seen the stone's glow. The water flowed peacefully, glittering under the afternoon sun. Amara sat on a large, smooth rock near the edge. She looked at her reflection in the water. For a moment, she thought she saw the reflection of the moon beside her own face, even though it was daytime. She dipped her fingers into the cool water. The whispers seemed to rise from the river itself now, swirling around her like a gentle hug. They were still not words, but a feeling of deep, ancient knowledge. A figure was walking slowly along the riverbank. It was Elder Tamu, the village storyteller. He was very old, with a kind face full of wrinkles. He carried a long wooden staff that he leaned on with every step. Elder Tamu always had stories of the old world, of magic and heroes. He saw Amara sitting alone and smiled a knowing smile. He walked over to her slowly. He did not seem surprised to see the glowing stone in her hand. He sat down beside her on the rock, his eyes looking at the stone with a deep sadness. "The moon has been lonely for a very long time," Elder Tamu said. His voice was soft and raspy, like dry leaves skittering across the ground. Amara looked up at him, her eyes wide with surprise. How did he know? He had not even asked about the stone. He just knew. "That which you hold is a piece of its heart," he continued, pointing his wrinkled finger at the glowing object. "It is a moonlight stone, one of 7 pieces lost long ago. It has chosen you, little one, to make the moon whole again." Elder Tamu looked up at the sky even though the moon was not there. He began to tell Amara an old legend. "A long, long time ago," he started, "the moon was not broken. It shone with a perfect whole light that protected our world. The light was a source of great magic, bringing peace and balance to all living things. The animals could speak, the trees could sing, and a deep harmony existed between people and nature. The world was full of wonder, and everyone lived under the moon's watchful, loving gaze." He paused, letting the story settle in the air around them. But a dark shadow grew jealous of the moon's pure light, he went on. It wanted the magic for itself. One night, the shadow attacked the moon, trying to steal its power. The moon fought back bravely, but in the terrible battle, its heart of light was shattered. 7 pieces fell from the sky and scattered across the land, like glowing tears. When the moon broke, the magic faded. The world lost its balance, the animals grew silent, and people forgot the old ways. The moon has been incomplete ever since, shining with only a fraction of its true power. Amara listened, completely captivated. The story felt true. It explained the whispers and the strange feelings she had. The moonlight stone in her hand pulsed warmly, as if it was listening too. The legend says that one day, the moon would choose a hero, Elder Tamu said, his eyes now fixed on Amara. It would send its lost pieces to a person with a brave and gentle heart. This person would be given the quest to find all 7 stones and bring them to the Silver Mountain. There, they could restore the moon's heart and bring the magic back to our world. Then, Elder Tamu's voice grew serious. His kind face became filled with concern. But you must be careful, Amara, he warned. You are not the only one who knows the legend. Others will seek the power of the stones. They will hunt for them, and they will hunt for you. The shadow that broke the moon still lingers, and it has followers in this world. They will do anything to get the stones. Be wary of everyone. The greatest danger may even come from someone you know and trust. Betrayal can hide behind a familiar smile. Elder Tamu's warning sent a shiver down Amara's spine. Someone she trusted? Her mind raced, thinking of her family and her friends in the village. Who could possibly want to harm her? The idea was frightening. The beautiful, magical adventure suddenly felt heavy and dangerous. The moonlight stone, which had been a source of wonder, now felt like a heavy burden in her small hands. She looked from the stone to the old man's serious face. The world no longer felt safe and simple. It was filled with hidden shadows and unknown enemies. She looked at the stone again. Its gentle light seemed to offer comfort. But it was also a beacon. If she could feel its magic, then maybe others could too. The followers of the shadow would be looking for its glow. The thought of being hunted made her want to hide the stone away and forget she ever found it. But she couldn't. The whispers, the visions, the connection she felt to the world, it was a part of her now. She felt a responsibility to the sad, broken moon in the sky. It had chosen her for a reason. 1,000 questions swirled in her mind. Why me? She wondered. She was not a hero. She was just Amara, a quiet girl from a small village. What could she possibly do to fight a dark shadow and its followers? How could she find the other 6 stones that were scattered across the land? The quest felt too big, too impossible for one person to handle alone. And who could she trust? Elder Tamu's words echoed in her thoughts, planting seeds of doubt and fear about the people she loved. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the riverbank, Amara felt a mix of fear and determination. She was scared, but she was also filled with a new sense of purpose. The moon had called to her, and she had answered. Her life was no longer just her own. It was tied to an ancient legend and the fate of the world's magic. Looking at the first star appearing in the twilight sky, she whispered her biggest question into the wind. Why did the moon choose me? The only answer was the soft, steady glow of the stone in her hand.